This recording reproduces my presentation at UNESCO's celebration of the International Day of Education on 24 January 2020 in the session on Learning for Peace. I was asked to address how education and learning can help foster peace based on Lobutto Library Partners' experience with libraries that strengthen communities and build cultures of peace and inclusion. The UN resolution that established the International Day of Education recognizes that among education's values are the promotion of peace, the rule of law, and respect for human rights. In focusing on education and peace, I will address two important questions which you probably don't know that you care about. The two questions are, why are learning opportunities outside of school critical for peace? And how can public libraries play an important role in meeting this need? I hope that in a few minutes' time, you will feel motivated to use these ideas to build a more peaceful world. Here is a fundamental observation about peace. Peace fails when one community of individuals sees another as being different, decides that it cannot tolerate that difference, and acts to eliminate it by force. The process by which communities and the individuals that constitute them create the stories that become their identities and arrive at what they consider to be intolerable differences is critically underpinned by social institutions, including, importantly, institutions of education. While we tend to see education as a vehicle for transmitting knowledge, education also plays a social role in establishing inclusion, opportunity, and place in the community. Schools are a closed system. You are either in or out. You are provided with some agency in your life, or you are limited. All of us can think of examples of when denial of agency and exclusion from the community have sown the seeds of conflict and erected barriers to peace. Nelson Mandela's observation that the power of education can contribute to nation building and reconciliation is echoed in the UNESCO Culture of Peace program's recognition that building the foundations for peace depends on learning to appreciate a culture's nonviolent aspects: courage, heroism, creativity, the redress of injustice. Individuals in a community must be able to draw on self-confidence, self-esteem, and knowledge in order to have the capacity to respect those who are different from themselves and live in harmony. I am here because of lessons learned over a decade with Lobutto Library Partners, which is an organization started in Zambia that has, so far, served over 150,000 children and youth by creating free public libraries that are designed to meet the needs of their communities. These libraries are inclusive, respond to the abilities of the individual, support acceptance and community among diverse users, and provide resources and programs that expand horizons and promote personal development. The public library accepts and welcomes all. When we first started, we focused on ensuring that street children living on the margins would find themselves in the center and come to realize that that is where they deserve to be. Over time, that vision has grown to recognize the importance of place for the differently abled, for young mothers and their babies, for girls escaping from child marriage, and every other child in the community. In the process, we have learned that children with very different status, needs, and abilities, when brought together in a community of acceptance to explore their talents and interests and to learn how to address the challenges they are facing, do not see those differences as other. You might ask, what is the nexus between learning, peace, and libraries? Our experience shows that the nexus is an institution that welcomes the whole community, meets individuals at their own level, recognizes their humanity, and supports their desire to learn and grow. It turns out that self-confidence and self-esteem can be fostered, and that courage, heroism, and creativity will follow. Barack Obama said, "At the moment that we persuade a child, any child, to cross that threshold, that magic threshold into a library, we change their lives forever, for the better. It's an enormous force for good." President Obama may have gotten one part of this wrong. No one has to come to a library. Children come to us eagerly, without persuasion. So what does this magic threshold look like? Every community has its own needs. So, effective libraries like ours, which average over 2,500 visits per week, adapt to meet those needs. They include excellent and balanced collections of books and media, tools to support literacy, and, to the extent possible, free and supported access to the Internet. The thirst for finding out about the world and the intellectual and creative freedom that this knowledge brings runs deep. Drama and arts programs also open the world, help children to learn about themselves, build self-confidence and self-esteem, and provide them with a voice. The libraries also educate to meet social needs. Regular and free programs are offered for the hearing and vision impaired, for early childhood education, for family literacy, and for young mothers for whom childcare is provided. Targeted mentoring programs lead young people to overcome obstacles to self-esteem and self-realization. Caring and inspiring role models, especially women working in technological fields, are particularly effective in breaking down gender stereotypes. We found that our libraries can help communities understand that supporting those that have been left behind does not have to come at the expense of others. In particular, they showed that giving girls opportunities to grow did not have to disadvantage boys. At the same time that inclusion led those who had been left out to discover their talents and voices, it led others to the understanding that cooperation creates possibilities for growth. Encouraging girls to participate in drama, art, coding, and mentoring not only helped the girls, it helped the entire community. The libraries welcome all who come and actively reach out to the community to make sure every young person knows they are welcome and will be accepted for who they are. In summary, public libraries, while giving all of the young people in a community access to knowledge, can support learning about oneself, building self-confidence and self-esteem, can foster acceptance of differences, and in the process, strengthen the fabric of communities and the foundations for peace. Each of the hundreds of millions of children and their families who do not currently have access to this kind of library presents an opportunity to build a more peaceful future. This is a call to action.